about Shadeur Sanders and this opportunity that he has in order to become the starter for the Cleveland Browns. Now, look, if you haven't seen my other videos, go check out the previous two videos I made concerning the Sanders family. But I'm going to help the Cleveland Browns make a wise decision. And you let me know if you agree with me in the comments. But it's very simple to see who the starter should be. Let's start with Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson, he has had his opportunity to be the starter for the Cleveland Browns, and it didn't go as planned. He's now recovering from an injury, so we can count Deshaun Watson out right now. We're talking about right now going into the season. Who do you want to be your franchise quarterback? And that's how we need to think and frame this conversation. Who do you want to be your franchise quarterback? We're not talking about a short-term solution. We're talking about the next 10 years. Who do you want to be your quarterback? I think that also rules Joe Flacco out. We know in 10 years, Joe Flacco would be, what, about 50 years old? So that rules him out. Because if you're Cleveland, you don't want to continue to switch quarterbacks. You want to show some consistency. Let's change the way Cleveland football is viewed. You know, all these hirings and firings and hiring and firing. You know, let's start fresh. Let's start with a quarterback who can give us at least 10 years. And if we go with a quarterback, even if he isn't good his first or second year, let's stick with him. Let's train him. Let's get him ready to play in the NFL. Let's put parts around him, because we all know it's not always just the quarterback. Look at Joe Burrow over in Cincinnati. Man, to me, he was one of the best quarterbacks in the league. But his team let him down. The defense just was not good enough to hold anyone. So they would score 30 points and lose. And we saw, if you watched the game, you saw offensively, him and Jamar Chase, and they were unstoppable. But football is a team sport. So let's keep moving. Kenny Pickett, you know it's not Kenny Pickett. He has had opportunity after opportunity to show what he can do. And he's just not that guy. He's never showed us he was that guy. See, that's the thing. If you never show us that you're that guy, it would be foolish for us to think you're going to become that guy. So we're just talking about making a wise decision based on what we have seen from these quarterbacks. You gave Flacco a chance. You've given Deshaun Watson a chance. Kenny Pickens, he has had his chance. Now you got Dylan Gabriel, and you got Shadeur Sanders. Dylan Gabriel, he's not the answer. Because right now, if you look at the reps they're taking, they're saying Shadeur is doing better with less reps. Now, I would say if it's not Shadeur, I would put Dylan Gabriel after Shadeur. I sure would. I would put him after Shadeur. Because the other quarterbacks, they've had opportunities in the National Football League, and they just weren't good enough. Joe Flacco, you're asking him, listen to this, how ridiculous this sounds. You're asking Joe Flacco to lead a team against the team that got rid of him in the Baltimore Ravens and beat them. And if I'm not mistaken, you're asking Kenny Pickens, I think his name Pickett, to beat the Steelers who got rid of him. They got rid of these quarterbacks because they found something better. Because these guys could not get the job done. So it's time to move on from them. Somebody's already kicked the tires. Somebody's already, looked at the walls of the tire and determined, no, this tire ain't no good. Give these young quarterbacks a chance. And who is the quarterback that everybody is behind and everybody wants to see? Shadeur Sanders. That's your franchise quarterback right there. I don't care if Shadeur goes one, whatever. That's your franchise quarterback right there. You know why? Because people will have patience with Shadeur because we know he can play. It's already proven he can play. So if he gets put in a situation and they're losing games, but he's doing his job, we know you just need to improve the pieces around him. Look at Joe Burrow last year. I go back to that example. Joe Burrow is a stud. His record won't reflect it, but he's a stud. If you see the games, you know it's not his fault that they're losing because football is a team sport. Sometimes you got to build around your quarterback. We want the quarterback to just be the answer to everything. We want him to overcome bad defense. We want him to overcome a lack of offensive players around him. We want the quarterback to just be and do everything. And that's just not the way football is played. So, look, Shadeur Sanders is a winner everywhere he has gone. Remember what he told you. He said, if you do not want to change your football team around, if you do not want to change the culture of your football team, if you don't want to go from losing to winning, don't pick him. Don't pick him. So for the Cleveland Browns to say, you know what, no, we don't want to go with Shadeur, they're basically saying they're not ready to change yet. That's what Shadeur thinks, and I agree. Cleveland, do you want to change? Do you want to usher in a new year? You see all the enthusiasm, all the excitement around your franchise. Everybody wants to see Shadeur Sanders play in the NFL as a starting quarterback for years to come. Remember Michael Jordan? Michael Jordan, he was doing his thing, but he was losing for many years. Many years. And I know we live in a different day and time where, we want a new quarterback, 4 or 5 games in if the team isn't winning. But that's what I'm saying. In Cleveland, y'all gonna have to change that. You're gonna have to change. If you want different results, you're gonna have to change that. You're gonna have to build around Shadeur for the future. And like I say, I believe that the Cleveland Browns will go to a Super Bowl with Shadeur as their quarterback. But the question is, can you stay steady and build around him even if things are not going as planned that first or second year? See, that's where your intestinal fortitude, where your strength, where your courage lies, in your ability to be able to stay consistent, stay steady, even when things are not working out. And let me tell you something about Cleveland. Y'all got a couple of nice pieces. You got Jerry Jeudy. You got Shadeur Sanders. 2 proven winners. I think y'all gonna be all right on offense and defense. You got, what's his name? Myles Garrett on defense. Yeah, y'all got some pieces, but now you just gotta build. You gotta stay consistent and you gotta build. All right, well, we hope that the Cleveland Browns make the right decision and that they don't let their fan base down and don't let the nation down. People all across the nation want to see Shadeur Sanders line up, play quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. And listen, all eyes are going to be on Cleveland. I don't care who else has a better, who's doing what. All eyes are going to be on Cleveland football this year if Shadeur Sanders is your starter. So, Cleveland, do you want to be the talk of the NFL? Do you want to be the shining star in the NFL? It's up to you. You control your destiny. Are you ready for this moment? You got the most talked about player in the NFL, Shadeur Sanders. Right now, it doesn't matter who the Super Bowl champions are. It doesn't matter who has the most MVPs. Shadeur Sanders, he has all eyes on him. So Cleveland, are you ready? I hope you are. Listen, thanks for tuning in to this video. Get my book, Wealth and Riches Shall Be in Your House. It's going to be available on Amazon June the 3rd. June the 3rd. Get my book, Wealth and Riches Shall Be in Your House. It's inspired by Psalms chapter 112, verse 3. All right, thanks for tuning in to Kingdom Investor Network. Be blessed. Remember to share this video, like the video, and leave a comment. Peace.